I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
Yeah.
Abraham, my question is probably best with a short preface. When I was a small child, I was raised very Pentecostal. And so to believe in faith, all things are possible, was something that I've always believed.
Yeah.
I've also had the experience of being moved by another. And having said that, I feel that even as a small child, a boy, to a teenager, to a young adult, the law of attraction and the law of allowing, I feel like I was always very good at it, maybe. And it's something that just always felt like it came very natural. And then 10 years ago, a wonderful friend of mine, John, introduced me to Abraham. And all of a sudden, all of this made so much more sense. So I now, as an adult, looking back, see that manifesting has just always come so natural to me. So my question is really a question that's been asked of me personally. How are some able to so naturally manifest so easily, so quickly, and others struggle?
Here's the thing. Everyone is manifesting, and everyone is manifesting quickly, because law of attraction is an equal opportunity across the board vibrational application. Let's start here. We really want to give you some building blocks, so to speak, first, so that everything that we say after that will make so much sense to you. So every moment in which you're focused, like this one, and this one, and this one, and this one, this is going to take a while, and this one, is a manifestation. And by manifestation, you can use that word in lots of different ways, but here's the distinction that you meant when you were talking about creation. And manifestation meaning, here you all are, out here on this leading edge, where the furthest most manifestation is happening. Now, think about a baby in a womb, or your creations in your vortex, and think about the gestation process. Think about law of attraction gathering things together of a vibrational nature, and think about them getting ready to be realized by you. Well, the realization process is really what humans mean by manifestation. In other words, at what point are you ready to allow these vibrations to turn to the things that you can see and hear and smell and taste and touch? Turning thoughts to things. Thoughts are turning to things. Vibrations are turning to thoughts, and thoughts are turning to things. Well, most humans are using their physical senses to observe their world. And so what they're able to see are the manifestations that they accept. But someone who has learned a little bit about faith, or someone who's listened to us talk about the vibrational nature of the evolution of things, who hears us say that when you know what you don't want, you know what you do want, so you send a vibrational rocket, not something that you can see, maybe you can feel it, maybe not, but a vibrational rocket into the ethers, where law of attraction gathers them together, and the gathering creates an entity that is specific enough that we've named it the vortex. Law of attraction, acting upon your request, gathers the cooperative components, and there is something that is visible to those who can see. But most humans have trained your eyes to see things of a physical nature, and it's good that you have. And so these things of a non-physical nature, you can't see or hear or smell or taste or touch. You can begin to sense them if you are activating your emotional guidance system. You can feel the resonance of them. In other words, you can't see love, but you know it's there, yes? Your dog can hear things you can't hear, and you don't say, "Stop it, you little faker." You accept that your dog has a different capacity than you do. And so here's this vortex that has gathered all of these cooperative components. And the question is, at what point are you, the creator of this, going to allow yourself to see it, hear it, smell it, taste, and touch it? So it's coming down this pipeline. These thoughts are turning to things. And humans only, for the most part, are observing the manifestations that are here. But it's really a rare human who deliberately intends something and feels it into being until they see it. what we are calling deliberate creation. And so over time, in our desire to respond to your desire, to understand how all of this works, we began by saying, you're more than you know in this body. There's another part of you. And many of you have come to know that now. And then we explained to you that it's a vibrational universe and that you get what you think about whether you want it or not. And there's a lot of people manifesting what they don't want, but they don't want to call that creation. But you get what you think about whether you want it or not, because law of attraction responds to your vibrations, which are represented by how you feel. So we're explaining to you about law of attraction. And then we said the creative process is a few steps. Step one is asking. And contrast causes you to do that. Step two is answering. When you ask, it is given. That is so important to know. We wrote a whole book about it. When you ask, it is given, but it is given in the vibrational version, which you can't see or hear or smell or taste or touch. Well, yikes. How do I get to trust that? You say that my vortex is full of all of this stuff I want, but if I can't see it, how do I know it? And we say that's where the religious term faith comes in. That's where paying attention to your emotional guidance system comes in. That's where caring about how you feel matters. That's how finding resonance with something that you can't see or hear or smell or taste or touch yet comes in. And so we talked about how you've created it. We wanted to help you to know its reality in the way that we do, but of course you can't know it until you've experienced. And so we described your vortex. We described what's in it. We asked you to get in there too. We said, get in the vortex. And you grew a little impatient with that part of the conversation. As you said, Abraham, maybe I'm willing to accept that everything that you say is in the vortex, but I want it to come out. How do I get it out of the vortex and into the bank account? I want the money to be out here. So as you began asking those questions, when once you accepted the reality of the vortex and you began asking the question, how do I have a personal relationship with the contents of my vortex? Then the conversation moved easily to, well, you've got to be in the receptive mode, because the contents of the vortex is a very high, pure frequency. There's no resistance in it. There's no doubt in it. It's a sure thing. It's in the process of becoming. And once you began accepting that there is a vibrational creation that is wanting to show itself to you and is expressing itself to you, it is revealing itself to you. The question is, are you receiving it? Are you realizing it? Are you realizing it? Think about the word realizing. Are you turning it into what you want to call reality? Are your thoughts close enough to it? Well, for most humans, no, because you're steeped in the beliefs that humans have, which is primarily only about what they can see and hear and smell and taste and touch. So how are we going to talk to you about something that you can't see or hear or smell or taste or touch when that's the primary basis of your whole reality? In fact, it's what you want to call reality. It's not real unless I can see it. And so in time, some of you began to accept that there is a reality in the becoming that you can feel. And so then just recently, interesting that it's been this long in coming to this, you became ready to hear us say that when you quiet your mind, your vibration will rise. Now, it's the first thing we said to you all those years ago. But when you quiet your mind, your vibration will rise. And when your vibration rises to the vibrational equivalency of your inner being and what's in the vortex, then what's in the vortex can move easily into your realization. So then we began talking about being in meditation. You know you are because you've quieted your mind. Your mind is still. There are no thoughts going on in your mind. You're feeling sort of numb and detached. You can't tell your nose from your toe. You're in a state of blissful detachment. And then a thought just sort of drops into your mind. And you know it's not the momentum of your conscious thought because you've quieted your mind. There's no momentum happening. But there's momentum in your vortex, and there is momentum with your inner being. There's momentum there. And now you're up to speed. Now a thought occurs to you. And it doesn't matter what it is. It only matters how it feels to you when it comes. Something really interesting, something really fascinating. That if you will follow it, if you will follow that impulse, it will lead you to an awareness that will lead you to a manifestation. Right before your eyes, you will watch thoughts turning to things. And you will know where those thoughts came from. But there are so many scenarios and so many combinations of where people are at in vibrational relationship to who they are. It isn't until you understand how the universe works. It isn't until you accept that you are a vibrational being. It isn't until you accept that you have an inner being who is real. It isn't until you accept that that inner being is vibrating and accumulating and part of the cooperative component gathering of all things that you want. And then once you get that and you start being willing to quiet your mind enough to tune into that, and then you watch, you have a personal experience, not a let's take Abraham's word for it because they seem nice. You show it to yourself. And the thing that is so interesting, your inner being is guiding you to what you want from where you are. Which means there is usually quite a bit of resistance on your trail. So your inner being can't take you usually directly to what you're asking for because the resistance on your trail doesn't let you see that path. That path's not clear. You've cluttered it with your own doubt about things. But your inner being doesn't give up. Your inner being knows that there is a route. So your inner being just guides you along a path of least resistance, of the least resistant thoughts that you have, until suddenly, it usually is a sudden feeling, it occurs to you. You say, oh, why didn't I see that before? It's such a wonderful thing to have known that you wanted something that you didn't have and felt yourself launch it and felt the brief exhilaration of it, really brief because your beliefs don't let you stay there. And then quiet your mind and allow your inner being to guide you to the very direct, very specific, very manifested, already easy to see and hear and smell and taste and touch route to what you want.
Don't forget to leave a positive message and subscribe.